Welcome to Taisho, Alice! Oh boy, I have been looking forward to this. You might notice that I'm not visible right now. Just a second. Hoi! I might seem a little less animated than usual. But that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. Right? You guys still like me even when my camera's not all up to snuff today? Right? I'm still cute? Oh, thank you for the sip, Ed. I'm gonna do a sippy. Sip taken. Hi, Tixie Doji. Hi, Ed. And hi, Mira. Today is a day for fairy tale creatures. Thank you, Tuxie Doji. Flattery will get you everywhere. Last time we had found ourselves as Cinderella's, not quite fiance, but potential fiance, and we wanted to see what he's like firsthand. We're not very impressed. The blooming cuteness even in the storm of despair. Oh, I did not disable the toggle hat redeem. Let me see what I can do about this. I don't think that I have any hats on me. So, I'll need to put something else on as a hat? I know. Neko koneko. Oh, I am in pain. I'm ready to have my heart and body healed. Show me what you got, Cinderella. Oh yeah, and last time Cinderella also walked in on us changing. Light shone against my eyelids, and I stirred from my slumber. I sat up and stretched. Oh, right, I moved in with Cinderella last night. I opened the window to let some fresh air into the room. The golden rays of the morning sun felt warm against my skin. All right, let's do this. And so began my new life at the cafe. As you know, my name is Alice. Most definitely, my name is Alice. Yep. And starting today, I'll be joining the team. Thanks for having me. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. That morning, I donned my best cheer as we all met up downstairs. I got the sense that there was still some lingering awkwardness from last night, but I decided to ignore it.
よろしく、アリスさん。僕は厨房を担当しています。ちなみに、白雪兄さんはホール担当なんですけど。
Yeah, look at these good little brothers.
君が入ったのなら、俺はホールから外れる。
Please don't.
だそうです。代わりにあなたがホールを担当してもらうことになりますが。
Sure, no problem. But if it gets busy, I'd appreciate if you could still help me out. I shot a hopeful look at Snow White. Please? Good boy! Apparently that's a yes.
両者納得がいったようですね。とりあえず、難しいことはありません。お客さんが来たら席に案内して、注文を取って、用意ができたら持っていく。これだけです。
Okay. That's pretty much what I was expecting. Are there any special rules? Do I have to greet each customer in a certain way? Welcome, Master!
特にないので、 自由でお願いします。いらっしゃいませ旦那様でもご主人様でも構いません。ああ、ですが一つだけ注意点が。
Oh, is it maybe something like to not fall in love? What's that?
僕がお菓子を作っている間は絶対に厨房を覗かないでください。
Is anyone else really scared about what Gretel's cookies are made of? Under any circumstances?
絶対に。
Doshite? I tilted my head in confusion, but Gretel shot me an intimidating smile that screamed, "Mind your own business, oh lord." Okay, I promise not to go into the kitchen. By the way, Gretel is a love interest in, I think, the next volume? Are you feeling tempted, guys? I held my hands up like he had me at gunpoint. Nah, he's just a Haruka apron type.
ありがとうございます。では、早速僕は厨房にこもらせていただきますので、後のことはすべて白雪兄さんとあなたに一任します。それでは。
Yeah, I'll do my best. With a wave, he turned on his heel and began to walk away. But wait, how do I communicate the customer's order to you if I can't go into the kitchen?
大丈夫ですよ。どうせ客なんて一人も来やしません。
Excuse me? He said as though it were the most obvious thing in the world. What? No customers in the middle of the shopping district? Is that even possible? Aren't these guys rich? Okay, but what if we do get a customer?
万が一に客が来たとしても問題ありません。うちのメニューには軽食の一つも載っていませんから。
What do they sell then? Cleaning clothes does suck. なぜそうなった？
彼の言っていることは本当だよ。
Snow White chimed in.
うちにあるのは飲み物と本日のおすすめデザートの2種類です。お茶だけならそこで十分用意できるでしょ？
Oh, so they have desserts of the day. Then do they, like, pay for just the time spent here? Do they mainly sell eye candy? I can just get a hose and blast myself if I drop anything on me. Oh, just a moment. Sorry about that. Freya would pay for eye candy. I am not yet in the point of my life where I would pay money for real people to be attractive in front of me. I mean, no shade towards anyone who does. You should always support independent workers like that. Just, for now, my heart is sated with the two-dimensional. But you would pay for JPEGs. I would pay for JPEGs. I have paid for JPEGs. I paid for PNGs and GIFs too. Okay, but...
デザートは僕が適当に用意します。出来上がったらあなたを呼びますので、それまでは注文されたとしても断っておいてください。
How do they make money? Eh? Who are you calling eye candy? You, Mira? You're the cutest space kitty. In other words, the entire menu was essentially tea. And that's the tea. One word sprang to mind. Insane. Okay, just to be clear, this is a cafe, right?
はい。ですから、その名の通り、お茶を飲む場を提供しています。
You know cafe means coffee in French, right? Are you sure that's all you need?
あなたが言いたいことはわかります。ですが、この店は兄の趣味で経営しているもので、メニューも僕たちが用意できるものしか用意していません。
Oh, so they don't make money. I see. What about this siphon coffee maker? I pointed at the appliance that, as far as I could tell, was only there for decoration.
メニューにコーヒーはありませんが、使いたければどうぞ。
So we can use it, but it's not on the menu.
ええ。ですから誰も頼みません。
なるほど. You've got a really nice oven in the kitchen too.
使いたければどうぞ。ただし、僕が厨房を使用していないときに限り。
Right.
ではそういうことで。何かあったら、白雪兄さんにでも聞いてください。
Hey, wait, who's going to clean the... But before I could finish my question, Gretel disappeared back into the kitchen. Let's not interrupt him, shall we? I looked around at the messy dining area, then back at Snow White. I guess we'll have to handle this mess ourselves. Mira is absolutely eye candy. Phew. Finished, finally. God, I wish that could be me. I thrust my dustcloth into the air as celebration. We taken out the overflowing trash, wiped down all the dusty shelves, and polished the floor with a fresh coat of wax. Now the cafe had been restored to its former glory. Hooray! Now all that's left is the kitchen. No. I hadn't seen Gretel since this morning. I didn't know what he was up to, but I promised him I wouldn't go in there, so there was nothing else I could really do. No sense in pushing my luck. I spin on my heel and accidentally slammed my elbow against the shelf. Something fell and I hastily caught it with both hands. That was a close one. I had inadvertently knocked a little glass trinket from the top shelf. Oh, is it of a shoe? It had big round ears and a long thin tail. Oh, it's Cinderella's pet mouse. No, not pet, friend. Is this a mouse? It wasn't the most appropriate decoration for a restaurant in my opinion, but at least it wasn't a real one. Cutie. All of you guys are cuties. I put the glass mouse back onto the shelf where I'd found it, and gently ran a finger over it. I didn't know who it belonged to, but I was relieved to see I hadn't broken it. With that crisis averted, I sat down on the counter and turned to Snow White, who was nose-deep in a book, already. No customers, huh? It was just past noon, peak lunchtime hours, and yet the dining area was quiet. No sign of any visitors.
うちはいつもこんなものだよ。
Snow White didn't bother to look up from his book. I laughed dryly. Snow White was a great help to me this morning. In the beginning, anyway. At first I had him do the dishes, but he kept breaking plates. Then when I told him to pick up trash, he threw everything into his trash bag, seemingly at random. Eventually I realized it'd just be faster for me to do everything, so that's what I did. Oh, Snow. He told me he'd never had to do chores around the house before. Paired with his feeble appearance, he struck me as the little prince type. What's Snow White's job around here again? Maybe they really are just selling eye candy? Naturally, this begs the question. No, it raises the question. How on earth did this place ever get cleaned before I got here? The mice! However, he was really beautiful while doing it, so I didn't mind. Oh, that reminds me, where's Cinderella? I'd nearly forgotten our MVP. The entire point of coming here and working here was to get to know him. I was so blown away by the idea of a cafe with no customers that I'd momentarily forgotten all about him.
さあ、遊びに出かけてるんじゃないかな。
Like, where?
興味がない。
Well, we can't have our fiancé gallivanting. I decided to change the subject. Okay. So, is that a good book?
別に。
Meh. I don't understand why we don't have any customers. I mean, Gretel's such a good baker. Maybe they're intimidated? Or maybe it's because the menu's too limited. Do you think I could add to it, or would I get in trouble?
さあ、やってみたら。
Maybe I shouldn't. Oh, I know. Say, if I made lunch for us, would you eat it?
食べない。
That's fair. Okay, would you be opposed to me cooking for everyone?
君の料理の腕は知らないけど、みんながいいならいいんじゃない？
Okay, cool. Lastly, do you think they'd mind if I cleaned their rooms or did their laundry?
俺に聞かれてもわからない。なぜそんなことを？
I feel like I need to earn my keep if I'm gonna keep on living here with all of you. Plus, if I rummage through your laundry, who knows the secrets I could find. Hi, Niji the panda! Welcome! I'm feeling a little under the weather today, so my webcam might seem a little stiff. Hope you don't mind. But I am having a lot of fun with this game. It is soothing my weary body. At this, finally, Snow White turned to look at me.
君は一応雇われてる身でしょ？それなのにまだ働くの？
Thank you, Panda. Well, the cafe's so slow, I don't feel like I'm really earning my wages, that's all.
そう。なら勝手にすればいいと思う。
He's right and he should say it. Okay then, I will. Snow White shot me a dubious look as I giggled.
何？
I'm just really happy that you're talking to me, especially after last night. I thought maybe I upset you. He looked down at the floor.
君のことは嫌いでも好きでもない。
He likes us! You see.
君の方こそ。
Oh, he was worried. What? Why would I be upset with you?
具体的に言えば、昨日の夜。
Oh, you mean how you didn't drink it? Yeah, I wouldn't blame you for being a little skittish. You barely know me after all. For all you know, I poisoned it.
その上、今日も俺は君に迷惑をかけた。役立たずと思われても仕方がない。
Oh, he didn't do it on purpose so that we wouldn't ask him in the future? You mean when we were cleaning? He didn't respond. But he didn't go back to his book either. Snowy. You're just clumsy. It's not the end of the world. I appreciate your concern, but trust me, it takes a lot more than that to get on my bad side.
じゃあ、シンデレラ兄さんのことは？
Snow White looked directly into my eyes? What about him? I blinked back. This ain't about him.
そう。君は彼のことをどう思っている？
Where did that come from? Oh, well, I think he's a very generous man. It was my honest opinion, at least thus far.
そんな風に言ったのは君が初めてだ。
Really? Just me?
他人はシンデレラ兄さんのことをこう呼ぶよ。
Oh, that's where the cinders come from.
灰色の心を持った灰かぶりだと。
A heart of ash?
そうだ。綺麗な君は気づかない。灰にまみれ、 汚れてしまった人の心
Oh, it's a little soon to be calling us pure, but I do agree. This is a very pure and good protagonist. I support her. I paused for a moment. You think I'm pure? You barely know me. Or... I'm sure he has a good heart. I have a feeling that this is the right option, but I'm going to save here anyway. Well, I'm sure he has a good heart under all that ash. I put my hands on my hips. Ever heard the phrase diamond in the rough? Sometimes you just need a little polish before you can really sparkle. Even if he does have a heart of ash like everyone claims, it's just proof that he's been through some rough times. He's a survivor. Besides, I can tell he's not a bad guy. Most people wouldn't hire a stranger off the street no matter how good their tea was. Oh, does he know that we're not a street rat? No, I don't hold that against him. I did kind of look like a hobo last night. Wait. Something felt off about this conversation. His questions had been rather pointed thus far. Almost like he knew precisely how interested I was in Cinderella. Oh? Do you know who I am?
君のことは知らないけど兄さんが言うような人ではないことはわかる君の言動や行動汚れる前の服装どれをとっても君はいいところのお嬢さんだ
Oh, he's a smart lad. I smiled sheepishly. Evidently Snow White was one smart cookie. Do you think Gretel's figured it out too?
さあね彼は自分の興味の対象でなければそれが何であれ深くは追求しないたちだ
So he's the type to devote himself fully to whatever he's interested in, huh? Oh, his route's gonna be interesting. Gotcha. What about you?
君が何者で何があってこんなことをしているのかはわからないけれど
Thanks, Snow! So you'll keep my secret? He looked away. Thank you, you're an angel! He is. Brilliant.
別に優しくもないし優しくした覚えもないよ
Oh, there's no need to be kudere here. You sure about that? Because I feel like you want to help me. I can see it in your eyes.
見た目だけで判断されるのは嫌いだ
Hey, I should say that to you. Such a shame. You could manipulate the pants off of someone with those looks. Please don't, though. Predictably, he scowled.
君って善人面した悪人
That depends. Do I look like a sheep or do I look like a wolf? Rah! I smirked mischievously. You don't want to be judged on appearance, but you'll judge me on mine? Hypocrite much? Ooh. He looked away again and the smirk left my face. People are going to judge you on your looks whether you like it or not. That's just a fact of life. I mean, it's all they have to go on at first, you know? Works the same way in the animal kingdom too. They evaluate each other on external factors like whose wings are bigger or whose mating call sounds better. But when it comes to us humans, there's more to it than that. For example, over time you can come to appreciate certain traits that might have put you off at first. The more time you spend with someone, the more your impression of them can change. Because there's more to us than meets the eye.
綺麗事だね
Maybe he is, but I think I can come to understand him eventually, as long as he'll give me a chance. And now, here I am, so who knows? Maybe fate has already worked its magic. I feel like I'm winning over his brothers sooner than I'm winning over him. Cinderella, I mean. He fell silent, so I pressed on. You know, I've been wondering, why is it that you brought me inside last night?
ただの気まぐれだよ
Huh? Does that mean that maybe he took interest in me? With that, he got to his feet? Where are you going?
一人になれるところを探しに。
And so, he walked out of the dining area without a second glance. Guess I scared him off. He sighed. Frankly, I was worried that my presence was a burden to Cinderella's younger brothers. I just hope we can get along. In the end, not a single customer stopped by that day. Maybe we should do something about it? No, we definitely need to fix it. Yeah, if I'm marrying into this family, I want a successful business, maybe? Meanwhile, I dished out the salad for tonight's dinner. When I told Gretel I wanted to cook for everyone, he said to me,
いいんじゃないですか?
"That's a good boy." And that was that. Permission granted. I still needed to check in with Cinderella as well as the other Alice who supposedly lived next door to me, but I hadn't seen either of them all day. In fact, I hadn't seen Alice ever. I'd been hoping to introduce myself, but no matter how many times I knocked on the door, no one ever answered. At this point, I wasn't even sure anyone was actually in there. Like, maybe Alice was the name of their pet ghost or something? There, all done. With dinner now ready, I went to fetch Gretel. Here you are. Bon appetit. When he arrived at the dinner table, he murmured in surprise.
驚いた。料理得意なんだ。
That's right, we've got upper-class taste. Kaguya taught us all of this. I miss Kaguya. I don't know about talented. I just like to cook, that's all. The table was lined with sandwiches, salad, and a big pot of stew. It's really sad that sandwiches are fancy here.
これだけできるのなら、得意と言ってもいいと思いますよ。
Then maybe I should enter a talent show. I knew he'd only said it to be polite, but it still felt nice to hear. I like this protagonist a lot. She's really well-spirited. As I was grinning to myself, I realized he was giving me a dismal look. Eh? I tilted my head curiously, inviting him to speak his mind.
まるで奴隷のようですね。
Excuse me? It was so sudden and so very rude. You think so? I smiled back at him.
料理を作るのも洗濯も掃除も普通は他人のために無償で行いませんから。
But slaves only do it because they have to. I'm doing it because I want to. That's called being a really nice guest.
ではあなたは誰のためにこんなことを?
How are these boys raised? Well, I'm essentially doing it for my own benefit, but it indirectly benefits the rest of you too. I guess I do chores for the same reasons you bake. It's fun and I'm good at it. I winked. Gretel raised his eyebrows and smiled.
あなたは素直な人だ。
Yeah, we're an honest girl. Nope, and neither do you. Now eat up before it gets cold.
いただきます。
Gretel and Snow White are definitely going to fall in love with Eureka before Cinderella does, right? We're gonna have two rivals on this route, right? At last he began to eat my cooking. Cinderella's little brothers sure are a handful. Say, do you know if Alice is around? Almost certainly, yes.
いや、出かけてはいないと思いますよ。
Great, I should tell him dinner's ready.
やめておいた方がいいと思いますけど。
Why's that? At my question, Gretel tilted his head in a show of contemplation.
気になるのなら、実際にお会いしたらいかがです?
It was by all means the obvious solution. I don't think he'll answer the door. I've tried a few times now. I think he's ignoring me.
コツがあります。
Oh? Gretel curled his lips in a sinister grin. Well, here I go again. Hello? Alice? Alice in hiragana? No, wait, I was hiragana, Alice. Alice in katakana? Are you there? I knocked on the door. No response, so I tried calling for him again. Hello? Alice? It's me, Alice from next door. It's me, Alice in hiragana. After a long pause, I slumped my shoulders in defeat. You won't answer. This is no different from my previous attempts. No matter how many times I knocked or called his name, the person in the room never answered. Charging a laser, I took a deep breath. What? Alice, you freeloading scum. Pay your rent, you deadweight loser. And screamed insults at a total stranger at the top of my lungs. According to Gretel, this was the trick to get Alice to show himself. I like Eureka. Oh my god, it worked. A moment later, the lock clicked and the door swung open. I straightened my posture and donned a smile. Time to meet this infamous Alice. Hi there. As of last night, I'm your new...
人は快適安眠ライフを送っていたというのにもかかわらず、どんどんと無遠慮に音を立ててあげく大声で人の悪口か。君は随分といい趣味をしているんだな。全く感心するよ。
Yep, that's the Alice we know and love.
だいたいノックして1分経過した時点で出る気がないとなぜわからない。今時宅配便ですら1分も待たずに不在票を置いて帰るぞ。
Out walked a guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. Oh, right, you're a guy. I forgot about that. I already knew this, but somehow it still came as a surprise. In fact, I scarcely even noticed his little tirade.
随分と的外れな反応だな。ああ、そうだ。見ればわかるだろう。僕は男だ。それとも僕が男以外の生物に見えるのか。君の頭がイカれていて、たとえ万が一にそう見えていたとしても、僕は生物学的なオスと同義だ。ちなみに。女の子みたいなどというスイーツともの極めてバカバカしいザレ言を述べるのはやめてくれ。可愛いと呼ばれて喜ぶ男など、オカマかホモか女装癖がある変態くらいなものだからな。
Hey, I like cross-dressers. I'm pretty sure Alice is a girl's name, though.
だから君は名前だけで判断するのか？考えなしにも程がある。考えることを放棄している。いつの時代にも子供に珍しい名前を付けたがるバカな親は存在する。
Just a boy named Sue.
ジュゲム、ジュゲム、パイポ。
Oh my god.
グーリンダイ、ポンポコピー、ポンポコナーみたいな。当然、性別の混同をさせるような名前など世にありふれている。アキラやヒカリやカオルやナギサ、リンやレイやマコト、ハルカといった風にな。
I'm not sure that was the most faithful translation. Oh, it was a very good translation. Like, I couldn't understand all of it, but I know that at the end he said part of Jugamu. Oh, are you guys familiar with Jugamu, actually? Hang on, I think that I can look up the text real quick online. Jugamu. It's the most famous rakugo story in Japan. I knew it originally from Joshiraku. That's a good ending song. I wonder if there's a script for this somewhere, because I could just give you guys the summary, but it's not the same. But then I guess, like, live reading of the script wouldn't be the same without the body language, huh? Alright, I'll put off the story of Jugamu Goko no Surikiri Kire Kaijari Suigyo no Suigu o matsu Unrai matsu Furai matsu Kuneru tokoro ni sumu tokoro Yabura koji no bura koji Paipo no Shuringan no Gurindai no Ponpoko Pi no Ponpoko nano Chokyume no Chosuke. I'll put off the story of that guy.
その中でアリスという男がいても、ヘッコポピーな名前が流行っている昨今、何ら不自然ではないだろう。
He's got a point. V Rakugo. Yeah, let's do it. You're equating Alice to Apple? Ow, 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 ow. Out of nowhere, he pinched my cheek. You're the one who said it. I read my cheek pouting.
わざと
Ow, 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 ow. This time he pinched my other cheek.
で、何の用だ？僕の心地よい眠りをわざわざ妨げるような重大かつ重要な要件があるんだろう。
I clapped both hands over my cheeks defensively. I just wanted to let you know dinner was ready.
おう、それはどうもありがとう。ただ惜しい。実に惜しい。君が老舗旅館の女将のごとく気が回れば、僕はこんな風に気分を害することなく、美味しい料理に舌包みを打ったことだろう。君は夕飯の知らせに来たと言ったが、突然すぎる。君はバカか？バカなのか？
Yes.
突然訪ねて、突然夕飯の支度ができましたと言われて、はい、そうですか、ありがとうございます。とでも言うと思ったか？もしも僕がルームサービスの存在に気づかず、すでに食事を済ませていたらどうする？空腹に耐えかね、近くの店で安上がりの握り飯とウーロン茶で一服していたらどうする？君はその分の代金を支払ってくれるのか？君が僕の分の食事を取るのか？ふざけるな！今時どこの旅館でも事前に食事の有無を確認するぞ。
Look, I knocked on your door multiple times.
言い訳は見苦しい。
Sorry. I slumped my shoulders.
まあしょうがない。若い女中に使える使えないなどとそんなことで目くじらを立てていては時間の無駄というものだからな。
He's still gonna eat it. Cream stew?
実に無難極まりないメニューだな。まあ君に高級レストランさながらの充実した料理を期待するというのも野暮というものか。ではそのままその足で厨房に戻り、僕の分の食事を速やかに用意し、僕の部屋にお届けしてくれ。ちなみにここは外国ではなく日本なので、チップはやらんが構わないな。
America exists. Okay, you want me to bring it to you? I can do that. Be right back.
ほら急げ。1、2、3。
And so, on his count, I raced down the stairs to the kitchen.
ああ、アリスさん、どうでしたか、彼は。
Can't talk, cream stew time. He is so weird.
そうでしょうね。
I'm back. Gasping for breath, I held out the tray carrying his dinner.
遅い。348秒もかかったぞ。危うく二度寝しそうになった。
I think 5 minutes is pretty quick personally.
正確には5分48秒だ。四捨五入すれば6分もかかったことになる。
I mean, I could bring it to you faster if you don't mind it spilling everywhere.
君はバカか。そんな見た目の悪い料理など受け取り拒否するに決まっているだろう。見た目も料理のうちだ。そして冷えたシチューも断じて料理などではない。
Right?
まあいい。想定以上の使いなさっぷりを発揮する中、シチューに白米という邪道極まりない選択をせずにいたことだけは褒めてやる。
He's awful and I love him, right?
ほら、お前らの好きなツンデレだ。喜べ、俗物。
Get screenshotted. Thank you?
だいたい甘ったるいシチューにご飯など狂気の沙汰としか思えない。僕は断固としてパンを支持する。僕はパン派であり、パン党だ。シチューにはパン、カレーにはナンという風にな。
Sir, this is a Wendy's. I like rice with curry myself.
二大政党の一角だな。やはり君と僕は永遠に分かり合えない運命なの。
Yorakobe.
というわけで、さらばだ、ご飯派。
And so Alice snatched the tray from my hands and slammed the door in my face. What? A moment later, the door opened again.
ちなみに、今後食事を用意するというのならば、毎日決まった時間に部屋の前へ置いておくように。僕は食事のたびに君と顔を合わせたくはないのだ。
The dialogue is spicier than the curry.
ちなみに僕の起床時間は朝中だ。よく覚えておけ。
Hi, Biblio! Okay. I'm already tired tired today, but I've got enough strength in me to do 10 bicep curls each arm. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you remember how many breads you've eaten? 13. I prefer rice. What? This time he closed the door for good and locked it.
おかえりなさい。ずいぶんとやり込められていたようですね。ここまで声が聞こえました。
He's very interesting, isn't he? And he just sort of lives here? He pays rent? I chose my words carefully as I spoke.
変わっているイコール面白い人か。あなたは優しい人だ。ろくでなしでもクズでも、それ相応の形容詞があるというのに。
I felt his statement was crossing a line, but smiled awkwardly nonetheless. Is he always like that?
そうですね。こちらが1言ったことに対し、10返ってくる。ああ言えばこういう。そういった皮肉屋で偏屈な人です。
Sounds entertaining to say the least.
気に入ったようで何より。
Gretel grinned. How long has he lived here anyway?
さあ、気づいた時にはあの部屋に住んでいましたね。
Like a ghost. So you don't know that much about him? Even though he's a tenant in your house?
この家の主はシンデレラ兄さんですから。兄さんが決めたことに対し、僕たちは従うまでです。なので、僕はあのアリスという人に関して深くは知らないし、また興味もないんですよ。
I see. Perhaps it was in fact Cinderella who was the weirdest person in the family.
まあでも、彼に関わると決めたのはあなただ。責任を持って今後彼の面倒を見てやってください。
Understood. Makasaremashita. Yeah, I'm not used to that polite form. I usually just hear makasete.
ごちそうさま。美味しかったです。
Gretel got to his feet, leaving his empty plate on the table. You're very welcome. Oh yeah, do you have any favorite dishes in particular?
作ってくれるんですか？
Yeah, if I can, sure.
じゃあ、甘いものがいいな。糖は頭の回転を良くさせるから。
That's what L Death Note always said. Anything sweet. Okay, I'll think of something.
ほどほどに期待してます。
Makasaremashita. Oh, that's because the protagonist is Nihongo. That's right, the protagonist is the entire Japanese language. After Gretel left, I patiently waited for Cinderella to come home before I ate. Hours ticked by until dinner time had long since passed. He sure is out late tonight. My stomach rumbled for the umpteenth time. Ugh. I clutched my abdomen. I glanced over at the clock and debated reheating the stew. Now that it was almost certainly ice cold. Oh, she replied in Japanese to someone speaking in Euro-American. Understood. Yep, she does that a lot. I was kind of put off by it at first, but it's actually pretty cute, actually. I just said actually twice. I also can't English very good. I guess it's because she and Kaguya are the only ones with Japanese names around here. So it makes sense that they would, have a different native language, too. No, I should wait for Cinderella. I shook my head, fighting the urge to sate my own needs. All this time I waited specifically so I could have dinner with Cinderella. If I ate without him, it would mean this hours-long investment was all in vain. As I wrestled with myself, in walked the man himself. Welcome home, Cinderella. Would you like dinner? A bath? Or maybe... I ran over to him with a smile. Ah, Listen, I was wondering, would you mind if I cooked and cleaned for everyone?
じゃあ任せる。給金はその分上乗せすればいいか。
Whoa, that was easy. Oh no, I don't need more money. But before I could even finish my sentence, he left the room without a second glance. What am I gonna do with the rest of the stew? Does refrigeration exist here? What do you mean, no, Eureka? I mean, Eureka is loaded. As I mumbled sadly to myself, my stomach squeaked at me. It was kind of cute, actually. Us sad girls still gotta eat. You're right, Eureka. Late that night.
くそ。変な時間に食ったせいで今頃腹が減ってきやがった。
And then he arrives in the kitchen to find us still eating soup directly out of the pot.
なんか食べるもんはねえかな。お、結構あるじゃんか。サラミサラミっと。あ？
With a spoon? No. No spoon.
なんだこれ。シチュー。そういやあの女、食事がどうとか言ってたな。
Slurp.
ふん。うまいじゃねえか。
Aw, that's a really kind smile. Hello, Yogi Scoffin. I'm in cry mode because I am very tired. And I don't know why my camera's not doing a thing. My camera has captured me in only cry mode. It won't let me move. And I am too tired to try to fix it. So, this is me. Oh, good morning, Cinderella.
おはよう兄さん。
ああ。
Cinderella walked in right as I was preparing breakfast. He looked grumpy. Maybe he wasn't a morning person. Did he get heartburn from eating so late? Huh? I figured he'd walk out again, but instead he plopped himself down in a chair and stared at me. Huh? What's up? I looked back at him curiously.
何してんだ。
With what?
俺の分は。
He tapped his fingers on the table. Then he glanced pointedly at Gretel's plate. This could only mean one thing. You want me to cook for you?
だから座ったんじゃねえか。
Oh, okay, coming right up. And so I launched into cooking at the speed of light. A few minutes later, I plated a very fluffy omelet along with a salami and cheese croissant sandwich. Oh, they're croissant sandwiches. Ooh, those are fancy. To keep things healthy and add a splash of color, I dished him some fruit along with it, and then he threw it right out.
はあ。結構趣味がいいじゃねえか。
I had a feeling this would suit your preferences. Oh, but if you'd rather have Japanese food, I can make you some fried fish and miso soup instead. Do you want to drink my miso soup every day? Currently, I was heating up some French onion soup to go along with it.
貧乏くさいから嫌だ。
Cinderella? That is racist. The croissant sandwich he was eating was actually cheaper than what I suggested, but I decided to keep that to myself.
あんたは食べないのか。
Oh, I'll just eat the leftover stew from last night. Did he eat it all? Uh-huh. Cinderella munched on his croissant sandwich, sounding altogether disinterested. I watched him for a moment. Then I decided to ask him something that had been on my mind. You know, it's funny. Last night I could have sworn there was a ton of stew left over, but come this morning I found there was only enough for one more serving. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Instantly he froze.
ああ、そりゃあれだ。あんたの気のせいなんじゃねえの。それかあれだ。いわゆる妖精の仕業って
Or, you know, how the cold contracts things. Oh, of course, a fairy. He probably snuck in while I was sleeping and helped himself. I clapped my hands together.
そうそう。
He gave a non-committal grunt.
へえ、それは不思議ですね。随分と図体のでかい妖精がいたもんです。ところで、シンデレラ兄さん、昨晩厨房に行くのを見ましたが、何しに行ったんですか？
Oh, laughing gets me dizzy. As Gretel cut in, Cinderella fell silent. Aww. I want to tease him. You ate some, didn't you, Squidward?
そうだ。食べたい。悪いか。
And so he angrily admitted to his crime. The punishment is death. Annoyed, Cinderella averted his gaze. At this rate, he was likely to storm off somewhere. Okay, I gotta take some up to Alice's room. Once you've eaten, I'll make you something to drink. I hastily took the hint and made myself scarce.
いってらっしゃい。
Safe travels. Good morning, Alice. I called out to him from the other side of the door, but he didn't respond. Granted, it was quite possible he was still asleep. Why? Because it was 9 a.m. and he had told me he woke up every morning at 10. We just disregarded it. Now you may be wondering, why not arrive at 10 a.m. like he asked? And the answer is quite simple. Because F him, that's why. 10 a.m. was when the cafe opened for business. Breakfast is ready, I'll leave it here for you. Unwilling to waste any more time, I dragged my bedside table out into the hall and set the tray onto it. When I returned to the kitchen, Gretel was rinsing his dirty dishes off in the sink, without even being asked. What a good boy. Oh, I can take care of that.
これくらいはやりますよ。
Yeah, it's only fair. The one who eats without cooking does the dishes. Well, okay. Guess I'll take you up on that. Thanks, I appreciate it. I glanced over at Cinderella to find him nearly done with his own breakfast. In that case, I'll make us a little something to drink. How about some coffee? We also have black tea and green tea.
コーヒーでいい。
Espresso or cafe au lait?
じゃあ、カフェオレ。
Aww. What about you, Gretel?
僕もカフェオレで。
With lots of sugar? Pinching the hem of my dress, I curtsied gracefully. Kashikomarimashita. Humming to myself, I clicked the switch on the siphon coffee maker. Once the water began to boil, the steam rose to the top, mixing with the coffee grounds to begin the brewing process. Perfect! Kanpeki! All according to keikaku. Keikaku means plan. While I waited for the coffee to brew, I bustled around the dining area to get the milk and utensils ready.
なあ、グレーテル。
何ですか？
ここは店か。
店ですね。
The next thing I knew, Cinderella and Gretel were suddenly standing behind me.
あんた、コーヒーサイフォンの使い方なんて知ってたのか？
Do none of you know? Yep, this is actually my favorite way to make coffee. It's fun to watch the steam rise to the top, you know? Kinda like magic. And when it's all done, it smells amazing.
はあ、普段使わねえからわかんねえな。
Then what's the point of having one? This is a health issue. They should not be in the food preparation area.
ただのインテリアだ。雰囲気作りだよ。雰囲気作り。
So it's both functional and aesthetic. That's so smart. Wow, we always look on the bright side. But Cinderella didn't return my smile. What?
あんたは天然なのか嫌味なのか。
I guess I'm a ditz then. I put my index finger to my chin and tilted my head in cutesy display.
わ わかってんなら天然じゃねえよ。
Oh, sorry, but I'm not being sarcastic, honest.
あってたまるか。
Oh, the coffee's nearly ready now. Go on and have a seat over there. At my suggestion, Cinderella fell silent and sat down.
兄さん、彼女は一筋縄ではいかない性分のようです。兄さんのような人ではまず太刀打ちできない。
Oh, it's okay. I'll be really gentle with him. You trust me, right?
するかよ。
20 minutes later. There you go. I set 2 cups of coffee on the counter.
いい匂いだ。
あんたをね。
I poured a cup for myself and joined them at the counter.
そういや、あんたの名前はなんだ？
Cinderella, we told you that on the first day. Ha! It was quite possibly the world's most belated question. Or maybe we didn't even tell him the first day.
雇い主のくせにそんなことも知らなかったんですか。
こいつが名乗らねえからよ。
I wanted to tell him you didn't let me introduce myself, but I held my tongue. I'm Alice.
何アリスだよ。
My last name? We didn't think about that yet. Caught off guard, I couldn't help but stammer. Well, but it's... Eureka. Oh god, what do I do now? I knew I needed to give him something, anything, but nothing sprang to mind. As I hesitated...
まあいいや。俺的にはどうでもいいし。
He shrugged. Oh, this guy must be super easy to scam. It was a rather sudden about-face considering he was the one who asked in the first place. Alice, coffee maker?
個人事業主としては大いに問題ある発言ですね。
第一、契約書も交わしてねえし。
Oh god, that's right, we need some paperwork.
違法じゃないですか。
法人じゃねえから大丈夫だろ。
Alice, espresso machine?
危ない橋渡りすぎていつか捕まりますよ。ただでさえも悪名高いあなたの弟だということで被害を被っているのに。
Don't worry, Gretel. If they try to arrest him, I'll just say I'm a tenant doing chores. I give him a thumbs up.
ああ、じゃあその手でよろしくお願いいたします。
Gretel extended his hand and I shook it. And so the pact of perjury was sealed. I'm also taking a screen cap of this.
おいこら、俺が捕まるの前提で話を進めんな。
We're just joking around, right, Gretel?
僕は本気ですけどね。
His smile didn't reach his eyes. I'm worried about this family. Cinderella took a big, awkward sip of his coffee. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Cinderella, I wanted to talk to you about the cafe.
店？おう、そういや、昨日はどうだったんだよ。
Oh, I glanced at the screen and was surprised that he was suddenly so close. Like that scene in Nozaki when they were playing the Yotame game. We didn't get a single customer.
ま、いつものことだね。
不良債権だな。まあいい。で、
I think we need to fix this?
ああ、そりゃまあ良くないわな。で、話は終わりか？
What? I blinked at him. Look, you're trying to run a business, right? Don't you think you need to start bringing in some customers?
別にいいよ。客が来ても来なくてもそんなに変わらない。客が来ないなら来ないで楽でいいだろ。
Why does he have a cafe? Then why did you hire me?
そういや、なんでだろうな。その日のノリっていうか、強いて言うなら俺の気まぐれだ。
Trying to run a business to the ground!
金持ちはな、貧乏人と違って心にも時間にもゆとりがあるんだよ。
He is not going to be rich for long, is he? Oh, I get it. I didn't get it actually, but I nodded anyway. If he hired a total stranger purely on a whim, then I was right. He was by far the weirdest person in this family. He is a trust fund baby.
それに客が来なくともここの地価は上がり続けている。いざとなったら店の設備ごと高値で売り払って売買よ。
Oh my god. You'd sell off your own cafe.
ああ、一番の高値がついた頃にはな。なあ、そういやあんたはこの店がなくなったら困るのか。世の中は不公平だ。俺じゃなく、あんた自身の生まれを恨むんだな。
Right. I mean, compared to hoarding wealth, he's positively doing a good praxis. He is. I couldn't think of anything more pertinent to say. Instead, I wondered absently how he would react if he found out I was his fairly wealthy prospective fiancé.
そもそも客が入らねえんだから仕入れも何もねえだろ。諸経費がかからないなら売り上げがなくてもあまり差はねえよ。
That's business, baby. Then why call this a cafe at all?
さあな、こっちの感覚としては家買ってその家に住んでるってだけだ。
I guess not. So then why even try to keep the cafe open in the first place?
もともとこの土地に目をつけて転売するつもりで購入したんだよ。喫茶店経営はその場のノリだノリ。土地を買ったついでについてきたおまけみたいなもんだ。
It's a hobby. He's letting his wealth trickle down.
何度も言うが、あんたと違って俺は金に困ってねえんだよ。ただ、そうだな。あんたの作る料理はうまいし、もしかするかもな。
Oh, we are teaching him to grow his wealth. His generational wealth. Just then he turned to look at me. Yes?
あんた、面白いことが好きか？
Yeah? Oh, yes, absolutely. Is he old money? Old as balls? He sure is. I raised my hand in a pick-me gesture.
俺は楽しいことが好きだ。新しいものも珍しいものも大好きだ。
Oh, that's unexpected, actually. So you're the curious type, I take it? My image of Cinderella continued to shift, from an upper-class snob to a good Samaritan to an inquisitive oddball.
よし、決めた。
Suddenly he slapped his thigh.
今日からこの店をこの国一番の喫茶店にするぞ。
は？突然何言ってるんですか？
おいアリス。
Yeah? I straightened my posture.
あんたが好きにやれよ。メニューを増やすなりなんなり思うようにやれ。俺が金を出してやる。で、それを元手にして俺をうならせるほど金を稼ぎ出して底辺からのし上がってこい。
What have we done? We decided to fetch Snow White and give him an overview of our new goal. I am gonna assume that he doesn't like it.
店の経営
Yep.
で、俺に何かいい案がないか
Yep.
特にない。以上。
Understood. He turned on his heel, but I quickly grabbed him by the arm. Wait, please don't go. He reluctantly turned back, a scowl plastered on his face.
白雪、どうせお前も暇だろ。たまには手伝え。
俺がいても何の役にも立たないよ。
That's not true. You know what they say. Two heads are better than one.
なら規定数は満たしてる。
He was referring to his brothers, of course.
白雪兄さん、諦めた方がいいですよ。この人のいつもの気まぐれです。
Gretel jerked his thumb at Cinderella. Snow White's scowl deepened, and Cinderella cleared his throat awkwardly.
おい、お前ら、ここの経営者は誰？
Me!
シンデレラ兄さんですね。
お前らをここに置いてやってんのは誰だ？
come to think of it, how bad is their home life that they're willing to, like, live with Cinderella? Like, even though they all razz him, they, like, do agree to work for him in some capacity. And they are living with him instead of with their parents. Wait, their parents are still alive, right? I don't remember hearing anything about the Cinderella's parents dying in the intro. Just that their parents were very wealthy. Maybe Cinderella is all just talk? I don't doubt it.
そうだ。だったら誰に従うべきなのか理解できるな。可愛い弟たち。
Finally, Snow White plopped down into a chair as though he'd resigned himself for the worst. In contrast with Cinderella's smile, the younger guys both looked disgruntled. Sorry for dragging you into this. I'm not sure I believe that. Oh, he is PO'd. He steepled his fingers together.
議題はどうしたらこの店にお客が訪れるようになるかでいいですね。はい。じゃあまずは時計回りにアリスさんから意見をどうぞ。
That's me. My heart skipped a beat in surprise. Me? Okay, let's see, Do we really trust Cinderella's business sense? He says he's in charge, but also I bet he cries when watching Disney movies. Yeah, it's the Gap. It's all about the Gap. I think that we should rebrand this cafe to, like, a butler cafe. I can be the butler. Personally, I think maybe this place is a bit too intimidating for the average customer. Yeah, I assume that maybe most of the people who would have become regulars came in and were greeted with nothing. Yeah, I think that maybe a makeover would make them think that maybe there's new management and they'd give it another try. Exactly. I mean, there's no sign out front, there's hardly a menu. Most people probably don't even realize this is a cafe at all. It was a pretty valid point considering I was essentially flying by the seat of my pants here. Did somebody steal the sign? Cinderella squinted at me dubiously. Well, if you did, it's not there now. I squinted back. I knew I wasn't misremembering things. After all, the lack of signage had caught my attention the very first night I arrived. Snow White looked at him blankly. I can't believe this. He had a point. Meanwhile, I was starting to understand exactly how a stylish cafe in the heart of downtown came to have 0 customers. Uniforms! Ooh, pick me! I raised my hand. Uniforms! Yeah, with like 3-piece suits and gloves! Gloves! Yeah. And it would be really nice if everybody wore like hair accessories, like hair clips with hearts at the end. Oh, I like boys with hair clips. Or like earrings. Or when your hair's long enough, maybe a ponytail? A braided ponytail. Yeah. And like cufflinks and ties. Garter belts, how could they see skirts? Tiny mini skirts. You've had at least 1 or 2 customers since the cafe's been open, right? So why haven't they been back?
まあ何人かは来てくださいましたよ。最初のうちは。
So what made them stop coming?
さあ。
Gretel shrugged his shoulders. Did they come into the kitchen? Did they become the new desserts? What do you mean it's literally your job to know these things?
ホールは白雪兄さんが担当してますからね。
Naturally, everyone turned to look at Snow White. I think maybe the customer service was a teensy bit lacking in hospitality. This was probably our biggest issue, and I made sure to soften my statement as much as possible.
ま、愛想の悪い店員がいると、どんなうまい料理でももう二度と行くかって気にはさせられるわな。おい、聞いてんのか？お前のことだよ、白雪。
And Cinderella promptly ruined all my efforts to be discreet. Cinderella? I lightly pinched his cheek. Oh! What?
なんだよ。
Is this your first time getting your cheek pinched? The cornerstone of great customer service is a great smile. I figured you could use some practice. Obviously, none of these people have gone to a Chinese restaurant. Oh no.
おい、俺を誰だと思ってるんだ？言ってみろ。
Murray Bosch. Huh? Is he pinching me back? And so he helped me practice right back. Oh, we're pinching each other. That's love.
ま、冗談はさておき。とりあえず、うちの接客には問題があるということですが。
Well,
改善策は笑顔ということでよろしいですか？
I'm handling the floor from now on, right? So I guess Snow's customer service won't be a problem anymore. But then what will Snow do? Once again, everyone looked at Snow White.
おい、白雪。ちょっと笑ってみろよ。
But Snow White turned away. Yes, that's a no.
おい、あんたが笑ってみせろ。試しにちょっと見せてやれ。
Who, me? Sure! I wasn't expecting Cinderella to request me directly. Now to put on my most winning grin and blow them all away. How's this? I donned my best smile.
10点だな。
まあ多めに見て12点ってところじゃないですか。
This was the part where they were all supposed to blush, but instead they stared back dismally. I'm being bullied. That's out of 50 points total, right?
100点満点に決まってるだろうが。
Your rating system sucks. I slumped my shoulders. I tried to make them weak in the knees, and what did I get? A punch to the gut.
ま、無理強いはよくねえよな。
じゃあとりあえず白雪兄さんには引き続きこのままでいてもらうということで。
In contrast to their treatment of me, they were more than happy to cuddle Snow White. Well, something has to give. Just then, it hit me. Oh, I know. Why don't we have Gretel cover the dining area? You're really friendly looking, so I'm sure you'll be a hit with all the girls.
何か今あなたの言葉に引っかかりを覚えましたが。
Nah, you're reading too much into it. I laughed and waved a hand dismissively.
僕がホールに出ても構いませんが、それだと調理側の人間がいなくなりますよ。
Alright, what about you, Cinderella?
はあ？おいおい、俺はオーナーだ。金を出すのが役目であって、働かなくても。
Plenty of business owners help run their businesses. I wasn't backing down from this one.
じゃあこれからはシンデレラ兄さんも店で働くということで。誰か反対意見はありますか？
あるに決まってんだろうが。なんでこの俺が。
俺は意味なし。
Sounds good to me. Snow White and I immediately agreed, and Gretel soon followed suit.
僕も異議なし。ということで、 多数決の結果、3対1でシンデレラ兄さんは今後店で働くということに決定しました。
Welcome to the team! Yay! The three of us applauded, happy to finally be on the same page for once.
おいおいおいおい。
Oi, oi, oi. Cinderella scowled as I shot him an encouraging thumbs up. Smile, Cinderella, show us those pearly whites, or else your grumpy scowl would scare all the customers away.
黙れ10点。
Wow, that really hurts my feelings. Anyway, don't worry, Cinderella. I'll be there to help you every step of the way. He turned away sulking. Evidently, he'd lost the will to fight me on this.
その他に誰か意見は？できれば建設的な意見で。
はい。
Snow White raised his hand.
珍しいな。
では、白雪兄さん、どうぞ。
I hope Cinderella keeps treating you like this even when you're at the end of his route. I see, so Sig is a masochist.
こうして話をしていても拉致が開かない。もともと俺たちは店の経営やそもそも金銭的なことに対して執着がない。売れなくても暮らしていけるのだから。だけどそれは俺たちに限ったことで他はそうじゃない。
So what you're saying is we should be using these other cafes as a reference point? Snow White nodded his assent at my interpretation of his statement.
それはいいですね。現場の声からプロセス改善に取り組むということですか。
貧乏人から学べってことだな。
Are they essentially giving you the cafe and saying just F me up? Yes, we are Gordon Ramsaying this. Well, that's rude. Who says they're all plebs? What if they're spoiled layabouts like you? Who even cares?
視察だよ。俺とグレーテルがここに残って待ってるから、兄さんたちが行ってきて。
Oh? We're going on a date?
勝ちって。
A date? Cinderella and I exchanged a glance? What?
しょうがねえな。そうとなれば今から行くぞ。
It's a date! He grabbed my arm and got to his feet. Wait, what? What about the cafe?
こいつらが適当にやるだろう。
Hey, slow down! And so Cinderella dragged me off, his two younger brothers waving after us.
いってらっしゃい。
ごゆっくり。
I feel like they were looking for an excuse to get rid of us. Why me? I'm a 10-point delight.
気がするじゃなくてそうなんだろう。
You could tell.
まあな、あいつらは基本やる気ない愛想がない働く気がないのないない尽くしだからな。
Just like you. Boy, I've got my work cut out for me.
だいたい朝飯食ったばかり他のもん食えねえっての。
Good point. So where to first? Cinderella was leading the way, but I had no idea where exactly he was taking me.
いいから俺に黙ってついてこい。
What is this, the 1950s? Oh, so this is past the 1950s. I see. He ignored me and started walking faster. Wait, Cinderella, wait for me! And so there we were, seated in a well-known Looking Glass restaurant. Oh? Looking Glass? Cinderella? I peered at him from behind my menu.
なんだ。
Cinderella stared back, resting one elbow on the table. This is a restaurant, right?
ああ、そうだな。いわゆるレストラン
But you just said you couldn't eat more. So what are we doing here?
だ。何って敵情視察に決まってんだろ。
I mean, yes. I looked around the room. It was the middle of the day, yet we were the only customers. As I carefully observed our surroundings, I couldn't help but wonder if Maybe we would have been better off choosing a slightly more popular place for our recon mission. Now we'll just imitate this equally unsuccessful restaurant. The restaurant had a spacious dining area with counter seats in addition to the 4-person tables. The interior design had a muted, modern feel to it, pretty classy. The menu was all French cuisine, exotic but not too foreign. It made me all the more curious why the place wasn't more popular. Is it also the personality? Maybe the location was the biggest factor then. The restaurant was situated in an alley with minimal foot traffic and no parking lot. Cinderella raised his hand and the waiter promptly came over wearing his best smile.
ご注文をお伺いしてよろしいでしょうか。
とりあえずここにあるメニュー上から下まで全部持ってこい。
Cinderella, why?
Huh?
What? I was certain I must have heard wrong. Surely he hadn't said that.
聞こえなかったのか。この店にある品全部持ってこいって言ってんだよ。
Apparently I'd heard correctly.
こちらにあるすべてのメニューでよろしいのでしょうか。
The poor waiter could scarcely believe it. Not that I blamed him. Even I was having trouble believing it, and I was sitting at the table. But Cinderella didn't seem to appreciate the waiter's bewilderment. He scoffed coldly.
俺の言葉が信じられねえってのか。なら先払いしてやるよ。
Oh God. With that, he pulled out a wad of cash and tossed it down on the table. What a rich person thing to do.
ほら、これで文句ねえだろ。
Oh God.
いいからしのごの言わずに作って持ってこいよ。
Whoa, 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 hold the phone. I couldn't begin to process what he had just done.
はい。かしこまりました。ありがとうございます。少々お待ちくださいませ。
Oh God. The waiter quickly recovered from his shock. After a deep bow, he hurried off into the back, and then he ran out the back door, and he never came back to the restaurant. Cinderella? I stared at him slack-jawed.
なんだよ、うっせえな。
You are planning to eat all of that, right?
もちろん全部食べないつもり。
Are we going to resell their food? Then why did you order so much?
どうして敵情視察って言ってんだろ。日本語わかるか ?Do you understand?
Oh, is there an option to save voices? There's not, but he just said, do you understand? Wakarimasu yo. But you said you couldn't eat another bite after the breakfast we had. Let me show you guys the do you understand.
どうしてって敵情視察って言ってんだろ。日本語わかるか ?Do you understand? どうしてって敵情視察って言ってんだろ。日本語わかるか ?Do you understand? まあな。
And yet you're going to order the whole menu?
ああ、そうだ。
My jaw dropped even further. Surely you could have just asked him to recommend his favorites.
んなちまちました頼み方で視察になるかよ。
Maybe you're right about that. I glanced over at the kitchen. The chef must have heard the story from the waiter because he bowed politely to us. If we don't eat it, it'll all get tossed out, won't it?
そうなんじゃねえの
Oh God! In response to his wastefulness, I die. I can't say I approve of this, Cinderella. Ganbare, chef-san! I decided to tell him the hard truth.
こういったことってなんだよ。
I'm referring to how wasteful you're being.
ふん
Cinderella gave a non-committal grunt in reply. Annoyed at how disrespectful he was acting, I kept going. Cinderella, there are so many people in this world who go hungry every day.
いるな。だからなんだっていうの
Doesn't that make you feel guilty for doing this?
ないね。
I stared back aghast. I wasn't angry. I wasn't disappointed. I was just blown away by his utter lack of hesitation. I can fix him.
あの さ、俺がここで何か我慢したところでその分がそいつらに渡るのか。俺が一食抜いたところでその一食が貧しいやつのもとへ行くと思うのか。
Well, no. I fell silent as Cinderella continued.
渡らないだろ。渡るわけないんだよ。ここは施設でも戦場でもねえ。俺が頼まなかったところで他のやつが頼めば同じことだし、誰も頼まなかったら腐って廃棄されるだけだ。金という対価を支払って物品を受け取る。それがこの世の仕組みだ。アホなこと言ってんじゃねえよ。
I mean, that makes sense, but I still think that once we actually buy the food, we should maybe consider giving it to others? Otherwise, it's like not just a waste of food, it's also a waste of our money. Our money. Because we're gonna get married. I watch VTubers who play games about war crimes, and I want to punch fewer people than in the games I watch here. His argument was perfectly sound. There was a lot I wanted to say at the moment, but I couldn't find the words. He snorted at me as I glared back at him.
ありがとうございました。
次はどこ行くか。
So that was takeout, right? Oh god, it wasn't takeout. My stomach hurts. I clutched my overfull belly. It's like I ate rocks. Compliments to the chef. I couldn't help it. I felt so bad for the restaurants. The chef worked so hard for that. We ended up leaving most of the food completely untouched. For politeness' sake, I wanted to try to eat as much as possible, but I had to give up after my 5th plate.
ま、お前は作る側の人間だしな。
I just feel guilty, that's all.
そんなの、じきにどうでもよくなるぞ。なんせ、敵情視察はまだまだ始まったばかりなんだからな。
I looked up at him. You're going to keep doing this?
ああ、そうだ。
Either he was a tyrant or just incredibly foolish. Fine, I'll go with you. At this point, I was in a to heck with it sort of mood.
それでいいんだよ。あんたはいちいち考えすぎだ。
That's the first time anyone said that to me.
俺も初めて言ったからな。
Cinderella glanced at me from out the corner of his eye and chuckled.
おいやつだ、行こう。
Oh, little boy? Whoa! A group of mischievous boys bumped into me as they ran past, knocking me off balance.
と、あっぶねな。
Huh? Did he catch me? Are our faces super close together? Cinderella grabbed my arm to stop me from falling.
おい、ガキ！気をつけろ！
Normally I would have been all aflutter about this sudden act of kindness, but the jerking movement jostled the contents of my stomach and I clapped a hand over my mouth. Oh dear!
吐くか？
It's my turn now. He indicated the sidewalk in a go-ahead gesture. Oh god! Not in the restaurant district! God, no!
ああ、出花をくじかれた気分。
Did I puke into the lake?
せっかく気分が乗ってたのによ。
Sorry.
まあいい。気分が良くなったらまた町に戻るぞ。
Okay. Seeing as I was under the weather, Cinderella had brought me here to the Looking Glass Lake. I really like this place. Here it was quiet and the air was crisp and clean. I felt healed in body and mind, just like I feel healed playing this game.
少しは黙ってろ。気分が悪いんじゃねえのかよ。
I was hoping maybe a little conversation would help burn some calories. I rubbed my swollen belly.
動け。
No, then I really will puke. That's the thing, I feel worse if I move.
ただの怠け者じゃねえか。デブになるぞ。
Oink. Eureka cows don't go oink.
それは豚だ。どっちも同じ意味か。たく。
Hehe. What do you do most days anyway?
何をしているって何をだ。
I meant exactly what I said. How do you normally spend your days?
なんでだよ。
Well, I'm a tiny bit curious about your life. About you.
告白かよ。
This is an interrogation. Cinderella snorted, but I didn't crack a smile. Maybe I am.
はあ
Huh?
残念だったな。この俺が魅力的なのはよーくわかるが、俺にとってあんたは興味の対象外だ。
It's not a romantic thing. I just genuinely want to know more about you.
わけがわかんねえな。知ってどうするんだよ。
Blackmail. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
なんだそりゃ。
Cinderella stared at me dubiously. No surprise there, of course. If someone told me they wanted to know more about me, out of the blue like that, I'd assume they were trying to recruit me into a cult. Fortunately, there were no cults involved here. Is there going to be a cult involved in another route? Cinderella. I turned back to face him, straightening my posture.
なんだ。
I know we've only just met, but at the very least, I want to understand you as a person. Why are you like this? I want to get to know you. It was my extremely roundabout way of asking him to talk more about himself. A moment of silence passed, and then finally...
だから俺に語れってのか。
He took the hint. Yeah. What went wrong to make you the way that you are? You and your brothers.
ばっかじゃねえのか。そう言われて、ほいほい他人に語るわけねえだろうが。あんたは俺の友人か？兄弟か？違うだろ。あんたと俺は他人だ。他人に語ることなんて何もねえよ。
I'll make you more stew. Sometimes being strangers makes it easier to talk.
全く関係のない、二度と会うこともないだろう赤の他人ならな。
Are you looking forward to seeing me again day after day? Then what do I have to do? Tell me. I leaned in, and Cinderella reflexively leaned back.
知るか。自分で考えろ。
He pouted. At this point, my only option was to use my trump card. Are we really Oh God. I'm okay. Are we really strangers if you've seen it all? Oh God. We are pulling that out.
はあ？何をだよ。
Are you trying to play dumb?
だから何を。
My naked body. Cinderella promptly choked on his own spit. Oh God, he's dying. Are you okay? I rubbed his back as he coughed. Now it's his turn to vomit into the lake. Pulling it out. I mean, there's no one around here to see. Okay, good. So anyways, you saw me naked at my first night at the cafe, remember? I jumped right back into the previous conversation without a moment's delay. Gotta keep slamming his weak point. Don't try to tell me you forgot.
まあ、そうい こともあったかもしれないな。
Cinderella? I smiled coldly.
不可抗力だ。別に見たくて見たんじゃねえよ。
Here we go with the excuses, Cinderelly. Hehe, I can tell that he's flustered. Oh Lord, we really are a wolf in sheep's clothing. Are you trying to say that I'm ugly? I pouted and began to fake cry.
わかりやすい嘘ついてるんじゃねえよ。
Dang. Dang it. Busted. I stuck out my tongue. I like Eureka a lot.
だいたいなんで今さら蒸し返すんだよ。気にしてたんならその時言えばよかっただろ。
Because we'd only just met and I didn't want to make things awkward between us, so I tried my best to forget it. But now, it's useful.
そのまま忘れちまえ。
I can't. No girl on earth could just shrug off some guy seeing her naked. How am I supposed to get married now? Oh, woo. And you never even apologized for it, so now it's my bargaining chip. Cinderella's cheek twitched.
俺を脅すな。いい度胸じゃねえか。いくら欲しいんだよ。
I am not going to accept payment for showing you my body. I am not a prostitute. So, I'd like you to compensate me in a different way while you pay the price for your crime. Well, I looked firmly into his eyes as I spoke.
おお。
Great, no take-backsies. Now let's go. I got to my feet, grabbed his arm, and yanked him up with me. Oh, this poor boy. This time it's my turn. Rock, paper, scissors, and shoot. Yes! I thrust my fist into the air victoriously. I win again. Looks like I'm on a winning streak. I snickered mischievously. No surprise there, of course.
くそー。連続15勝なんてありえねえ。おい、もう一回だ。
Rock, paper, scissors is like 80% psychology, and this guy looks like he has a lot of easy tells. Yes, you heard correctly. We'd been playing rock, paper, scissors, and I'd won every time. At this point, I was drunk on victory. Sure thing. I never turn down a challenge, you see. That's my policy.
余裕だな。見てろ。次は絶対勝ってやる。いいか。俺はグーを出す。
I see. In that case, I'll play paper. Ready? Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, and shoot. Sure enough, Cinderella played scissors. Naturally, I played rock. Is he a child?
また負けた。
Cinderella slumped his shoulders like he could hardly believe it. It appears I can beat you at mind games too. Well, that marks my 16th win. I'm starting to think you might be bad at this game.
そんなことは。
Aww. His wavering confidence only made me all the more certain. I see. I feel like I've learned something new about you. Note to self, Cinderella is a very bad gambler.
弱くねえ。あんたが強すぎるんだ。
Maybe you're right. Anyway, I guess you'll be carrying all the shopping bags. Silently, he took the excessive number of bags from my hands. You see, we weren't just playing rock, paper, scissors for fun. Hi, Mia Magic! You play a lot of EN? I sure do! We are playing to determine which of us would be carrying all this stuff. Need me to carry it for you? I reached out for the bags, but he yanked them away.
いいよ。余計なことはすんな。勝ったのはあんただからな。仕方なく従ってやるよ。
Well, alright then. Now, where to next? Oh, how about that place over there? Then we can play rock, paper, scissors again. I pointed to a nearby department store.
おい、まだ行くのか？
Far from it. I'm going to keep searching until I find the perfect tea leaves and coffee beans. We have to be particular if we're going to outshine all the rest. What about you? Still planning to spend more money? I indicated the shopping bags in his hands.
ああ、まだまだ買うつもりだ。
His tone was flat and disinterested. You see, most of the shopping bags were entirely unrelated to the betterment of the cafe. Instead, Cinderella had been buying things for himself. No matter where he went, he would purchase whatever struck his fancy. He reminded me of some kind of oil baron, the way he threw his money around. What are you planning to do with all that?
さあな、使いたければ使う。使わなければクローゼットの中にでも突っ込んでおく。
You bought things you don't even know if you need? I would play them more, but I have to be careful what media I consume. I had an emotional breakdown that got dangerous the last time I read a VN, sadly. Oh. Well, if you have any preferred genres or, topics to avoid, both genres and topics to avoid, then feel free to hit me up for any recommendations, Mia. Yeah. Cinderella.
必要だ。必要だけど、いつ使うかは自由だ。
Cinderella, I think that's called hoarding. You sure have an interesting approach to buying things. At this point, I wasn't even envious, just impressed, if you can call it that.
まあな、貧乏人には一生わかんねえ感覚だろうよ。
Yep, maybe so. All of a sudden, he came to a stop. I'm looking forward to when the Act 1 remake of Missing Stars is done. Oh, I haven't heard of Missing Stars before. What's it like? What's wrong? I held my arms out in the event that the bags were too much for him to carry after all.
こんなところで切り札使うだなんて、バカじゃないのか？
It was not a waste, I'll have you know. It's the perfect opportunity. He seemed to ponder this for a moment.
俺と一緒に買い物がしたいって、正直、あんたの考えはよくわからねえ。
Chigo, Chigo. Don't you see? This is a date. I wagged my index finger in front of his face.
こんな色気もへったくれもねえデートがあるか。ただの買い出しじゃねえか。
He grabbed my finger and lowered it. Fine, whatever you say. I'm just having a good time seeing the sights. I clasped my hands behind my back and glanced all around. Naturally, there was nothing around to see but the shopping district, tourist attraction, and the passers-by, a mix of tourists and locals. It always messes me up that the plural of passerby is passers-by instead of passerbys.
別に珍しいもんじゃねえだろ。
Sure, maybe it's nothing that special, but sometimes these things are just more fun when you're with someone else. It was hard to get the words out without blushing.
寒っ。あんた、ポエマーとかよく言われるだろ。
Cinderella looked downright disgusted. What a jerk. As I was thinking of a comeback, something suddenly caught my eye. What are they doing over there?
あと、人の話を聞いて。
A crowd had formed just ahead. I looked up at Cinderella, my eyes sparkling with excitement.
気になるなら言ってくればいいだろ。
Really? You don't mind?
ああ、勝手にどうぞ。
Yahoo! And so, with Cinderella's blessing, I happily joined the crowd. Beyond the sea of people, I could make out a display window illuminated with decorative lights. Missing Stars is a spiritual successor to Katawa Shoujo, but made by people who are trying to accurately depict mental health issues. They have a medical consultant on the team, in a realistic and sympathetic light. The characters also have a variety of body types and personalities in a way you don't normally get in my experience. Their Discord is really cool, and it's kind of become a haven for people with mental health issues in a good way. Oh, that sounds sweet! Yeah, I remember liking Katawa Shoujo a lot. I played VNs before that, but I appreciate how it really popularized them in the Western sphere. You see a lot of independent VN makers nowadays saying that they were inspired by it, or with the really new ones that they were inspired by Doki Doki Literature Club. It warms my heart. Beneath the luxurious chandelier were pedestals of varying size, each adorned with a pair of high heels. Miniature glass houses sat around the pedestals, and I could see light shining through their little windows. Evidently, the display was themed around the looking-glass world. Eventually, the people up front moved away, and I made it right up close. Wow, it's so pretty! Oh, yeah. You are so pretty, Eureka. So, those are the glass slippers, are they? I pressed my hands against the window and eagerly peeked inside. The shoes are so gorgeous, too. Is that a new style? My enthusiasm spiked and I started grinning from ear to ear. I was admittedly a sucker for all things chic and trendy. Just then, in the reflection of the window pane, I saw Cinderella walk up next to me. Cinderella, isn't it pretty? I beamed at him. Yeah, it really is, he says, looking directly at her. Then I remembered that he was a guy and probably wouldn't be interested. One thing that stands out as well is the team is mostly made up of Europeans, and it's funny to read it and catch the little references and phrases that clearly give that fact away. My eyes widened in surprise. His tone and expression were both strangely gentle. Do you want to wear them? Oh, nothing. I peered up at him. He looked so wistful, you'd never have guessed he was normally a smug, self-serving bad man, 24/7. But just as I was recovering from the shock... Oh? Oh, why is your avatar so sad today? My camera doesn't work for some reason, so it's just stuck on this picture of me being big pain. I am so tired. It's okay. I am slowly being soothed with the power of Taisho, Alice. What? Perhaps I'd spoken too soon. Oh, what? Why would you buy them for me? You don't owe me anything. Exactly. Not only had he given me a job, but he was even letting me live in his house? Rich guy's good for something. I couldn't possibly be so greedy as to ask for more. Maybe Cinderella's lack of integrity would allow for it, but mine most certainly would not. Oh, this was the guy who promised a ring without any intention of giving it over? Who promised a loan, but then, backed out of it? He should go into the store and say he'll take one of everything. Ah, I see. So the other shoe was left inside the store. I wasn't drooling over them, I was just admiring them. I can't let you splurge on me like that. You're not even my boyfriend or anything. You got me there. I faltered. Okay, yeah. But still, I still refuse to accept a gift from you when I know your heart isn't in it. Cinderella quirked her brow. No, it really isn't. I grabbed his arm and tried to drag him away. Oh? My what? My McNuggies? Just then, something unexpectedly brushed my ankles. Yeah. I let out a shriek and shoved Cinderella away. Pulse, Fukunaga-san. Oh, I see. Sorry, I felt something touch my foot. Oh, it's just a cat. He touched your ankles. Scandalous. A black cat nuzzled up against my calf. Aww. What a cutie. I gave her a squitch under her chin, and she started to purr happily. Cinderella reached out to pet her, and she promptly bit his hand. Ah. It must have really hurt because he curled up in the fetal position on the spot. Are you okay?
こいつ思いっきり噛みやがった。くそ。
Cinderella glared at the cat, who stared smugly back. I took his hand. There was a puncture wound and he was bleeding. All right. So, does everybody remember what the first thing you should do for first aid is? That's right. Check the scene. Obtain consent. And then provide care. Now, what should you say to obtain consent? That's right. You introduce yourself, explain your level of training, what you plan to do, and ask for consent. Now, what should you do with this puncture wound? You should ask somebody to fetch a first aid kit if you don't have one already. So, what are the steps to treat the puncture wound? That's right. You clean it and then wrap it in gauze. No, I mean, you put gauze on it to stop the bleeding. You can replace it if it keeps bleeding through. And then when the bleeding is controlled, then you wrap the gauze around it. And remember to tie it over the wound. Tie it tightly. Make sure that the blood flow is all okay underneath the wound. I mean, like, if it's, say, in the middle of his forearm, then check that that his elbow area, that the circulation is okay. Stuff like that. Or, well, I mean, the opposite, that, like, his wrist area circulation is okay, because you do not want to cut off circulation. I mean, there are times when you might want to cut off the circulation, but a regular cat bite is not one of them. Blimey, mate. That looks like it. Well, Smarts want me to put some hand sanitizer on. Go on, don't be a sissy. Give us your lad. We need to get this cleaned up. With his hand still in mine, I led him to a nearby drinking fountain. Here. Could you forcibly make them donate blood while they are still bleeding? Is that allowed? I don't think so. I would need to ask Red Cross about that. Oh, you're a certified combat lifesaver? Oh, that's so cool! Wow. I was never taught any of the things I do prior to administering care because, well, combat, if you ever write down the list you just provided, I'd love to have it as a reference document. Oh, that's from the official Red Cross training. I only did the online lesson, so I'm not OSHA certified, because for obvious reasons they can't really certify you without an in-person instructor seeing your exact methodology, but I know everything in theory. I thankfully haven't needed to practice it in real life yet. But you can take online lessons for only $40. Cinderella silently accepted my handkerchief. Boy, he's lucky that I know first aid.
たく、荷物は持たされるわ。猫に噛みつかれるわ。散々な一日だな。
Well, after my disability application goes through, so I have the money to do so. I wonder if I'm legally allowed to stream Red Cross's non-OSHA certified first aid training. I mean, I guess I kind of already did. Maybe I can do that on Thursday. He grumbled to himself as he dried his hand. Was back to his usual demeanor, right down to his tone and expression. Not a trace of his earlier wistfulness to be seen. I'm kind of disappointed, but at the same time, I'm kind of relieved to have the normal him back. It likes the taste of your blood! Cinderella scowled down at the cat, who meowed back. What should we do about her? What if she was abandoned? Whoa! Out of nowhere, the cat jumped up on my shoulder.
さあな。ま、これだけ人慣れしているということは、誰かに飼われてたってことは間違いなさそうだな。
You're heavier than I thought, little lady. And it hurts to lean forward like this so she won't fall off.
懐かれてんな。全身にまたたびでもぶっかけてんのかよ。
No, of course not. Just as I was really hoping the cat would jump down soon.
あ、いたいた。
Oh? Instantly, the weight on my shoulders vanished.
よしよし。勝手にいなくならないでよ。
Hello!
あ、君が見つけてくれたんだよね。どうもありがとう。
Hello. As our eyes met, the man's face lit up. Oh, she's your cat? Sir?
いや、僕の猫じゃないよ。この子は僕の友達なのさ。
Ah, your friend. Could I maybe be your friend too? The cat meowed as if innocent. Impressive!
友達とか言ってペットじゃねえか。飼い主ならきちんとしつけとけ。
Daddy, sorry, I mean Daddy! Sorry, I mean Daddy, sorry, I mean... I'm glad you found each other. I cut in quickly to negate Cinderella's rude complaints.
君はいい子だね。
Oh, I'm a good girl.
そっちの彼は随分とひねくれてるようだけど。
Oh, sounds like I didn't negate much at all. Cinderella seemed disgruntled. Not that I blamed him, seeing as he'd been bitten pretty badly.
あれ、もしかして怒ってる？
そうだよ。誰のせいでイラついてると思ってんだ。噛まれたんだぞ、そいつに。
He pointed at the cat using his injured hand.
そうなんだ。ごめんごめん。ほら、君も謝って。はい。ごめんなさい。
At the black-clad man's prompting, the cat meowed once more. It really was impressive. What if you pat the cat's head to make it like bow its head up and down?
これで許してくれないかな。
なんか納得はいかねえが。まあいい。おい、アリス。行くぞ。
Why are you walking her without a leash? You're a dog person, aren't you? Don't act like you know me. I think that Cinderella's probably more of a mouse person. Oh, okay. Nice meeting you. I waved at the man, then hurried after Cinderella.
ああ、待って待って。そう急がなくても。
But the man stopped us.
なんだよ。
Annoyed, Cinderella reluctantly turned back.
この子が君を噛んだ代わりに、一つお詫びをさせてくれないかなって。
いらねえよ。俺は貧乏人から施しは受けねえ主義なんだよ。
まあまあそう言わずに、シンデレラ君。
Even in the face of Cinderella's condescension, the black-clad man didn't seem to care. Wait, something feels off about what he said just now. Would it be alright if I messaged you later in DMs? Absolutely! Do it! Do it, do it, do it! Cinderella stared back dubiously.
あれ？その反応、僕が君の名前を知ってることに驚かないの？
Oh, it was on purpose.
別に。俺はこの界隈で有名だからな。誰が俺のことを知っていても不思議じゃねえよ。
Oh, the ego on this man.
あははは。じゃあそうだな。君はどうかな？
Is this Cinderella's prince? Oh no, are we going to get NTR'd? Me? I tilted my head.
そう。僕は君のこともよく知ってるよ。君の名前も、君の正体も。
His voice sounded so grave that my heart nearly stopped. I'm Alice. I raised my hand in the air enthusiastically. I wanted to seize the initiative, of course.
そうそう、アリス。確かアリスだったよね。
Your name, your true identity, your social security. He smiled brightly. Meanwhile, I was screaming internally. So hard my face was twitching.
うっさんくせえ。占いしかなんか知らないが、怪しいもんに金はビタ一文と払わねえぞ。
占い師？君は僕に占ってほしいの？
Yes, please tell us all the right choices to make to reach Cinderella's good ending. Cinderella scowled at this unexpected response. He was practically radiating leave us alone vibes.
あー、でもちょっと惜しいっていうかな。ちょっと違うんだよな。まあ君が占ってほしいと言えば占ってあげてもいいんだけどね。
The man promptly launched into some kind of weird tangent.
厄介なのに絡まれたな。行くぞ、アリス。
He grabbed my arm and dragged me off with him. Right.
はい、ちょっと待った。
All of a sudden, Cinderella stopped dead in his tracks in front of me, and I crashed face first into his back. What's the matter? Why'd you stop?
おい、あんた今、俺に何を
Is it magic? For some reason, Cinderella didn't turn to face the black-clad man as he spoke. He's frozen. He's like a less hot Merlin. Maybe if he had longer white hair. Yeah, I think that I would be into that.
ちょっと止まってもらっただけだよ。だってほら、こうでもしないと言ってしまうし。
What's going on?
体が動かない。
He's like a bargain brand stuffkin. Oh, he can and will commit arson. This was perhaps the last answer I expected. What? At first I couldn't believe it, but then I saw the look on his face. Are you okay? I grabbed his arm and tried to move him, but he was frozen in place like a statue.
大丈夫だけど、大丈夫じゃない。
I was exceptionally confused. I didn't bother wondering how it happened or even how it was possible. All I knew for certain was... You did this to him? I stormed over to the black-clad man.
ちょっと魔法でね。
Even the cat looked smug. Magic? Well, you better unmagic him right this instant, mister. Bro, don't do this to people. Oh, he has an earring. Oh, that is nice.
わかったわかった。そんなに怒らないでよ。
Oh, he has just one earring. Oh, that's really nice asymmetry. Oh, Luke had one earring too. Snuffkin altar. He raised his hands in surrender, smiling sheepishly.
動ける。
A split second later, Cinderella seized me by the shoulder and yanked me backwards.
おい、あんた俺に何をした？
With me safely behind him, he stormed up to the other man. He's protecting me.
何って魔法をかけただけだけど。
Hey Moomin, let's do crimes for fun became Hey Moomin, let's do crimes for power.
手品だろ。
いやいや、手品じゃなくて魔法だって。どうしたら信じてもらえるのかな。あ、なんならもう一回かけてみる？
断る。
Unsurprisingly, Cinderella wasn't about to take him up on that offer.
まあまあ落ち着こうよ。で、何の話してたっけ？あ、そうそう。僕が君にお詫びするってやつだ。
I think you need 2 tokens now.
いらねえよ。あんた一体何者だ？
僕は魔法使いさ。
Mr. Wizard. Wow. So he's at least 30. I understand. I'm into it. Mr. Wizard? Was that supposed to be his name, or...?
はあ？アホか。それって職業じゃねえか。
Somehow it was as if Cinderella had read my mind.
いや、まあそうなんだけどね。でもそうとしか言えないし。
Ooh. Maybe he's the real Alice. Maybe we stole his name. Oh, the age is 30 now? Was 40 back in my day. Maybe I'm misremembering.
あ、ちなみに君のことはヒロインちゃんって呼ぶね。
Little heroine? I couldn't hide my bewilderment.
サム？
Once again, Cinderella practically read my mind.
あ、その反応はひどいな。
てか、アリスって名前はどこに？
細かいことは気にしない気にしない。
Mr. Wizard laughed out loud. So, how are you going to make it up to him? I decided I would ask in place of Cinderella, who was still fuming.
そうそう。ちょっとばかり君の今後を占ってあげようとね。
結局うさんくさい占い師じゃねえか。
だから魔法使いだって。本当は僕の魔法は何かの代償なしにはかけられないんだけどね。
He winked jovially. What sort of price are we talking about? Oh, just the usual stuff, like firstborns.
等価値のあるものならね。そうだな。具体的に言えば、お金とか。
Oh, that's cheap.
わかりやすいな。
Cinderella snorted.
お金はわかりやすい価値だからね。まあでもお金以外でも受け付けるよ。価値の基準なんてそれぞれだからね。僕が価値のあるものと判断したら、僕はそのものに奇跡を与えよう。というわけで、今から君の未来を占います。
Yay!
いらねえ。
はは、まあまあそう言わずに。
Mr. Wizard blinked pointedly, then closed his eyes.
シンデレラお前は近々多くのものを失うだろう。金、名誉、家。これまでお前の周りに人を集めていたものがすべてなくなり、金がなくなったお前の周りには誰もいなくなる。
I love how he just deepens his voice for this.
仕立て屋が作った流行りの服は質素な服へと変わり、一人になったお前は頭に灰をかぶり、日がな働く。そしてお城で舞踏会が開かれてもお前は行くことができない。なぜならお前。
というわけで、以上が君の未来でした。なんか暗そうだね。
He promptly switched back to his usual cheerful tone.
はっ、それがどうした。占いなんぞインチキじゃねえか。
No, that was too specific to be cold reading. What you're looking for, Cinderella, is spite.
いや、決してインチキじゃないさ。これは予測ではなく、確定した未来なんだよ、シンデレラ。よって、どんなに君があがこうが、決して未来を変えることはできない。ま、何か困ったことがあったのなら、いつでも僕を呼びなよ。
Weird. You're a good friend, aren't you, Cinderella? We were on our way back to the cafe, and the silence between us had grown so deafening I couldn't stand it any longer.
はあ、突然なんだよ。
He turned and looked at me dubiously. Well, you could have just gone home without me at any point, and yet you stayed with me until the very end. Plus, you play along with my jokes.
それは褒めてんのか。単に都合のいいやつだと言ってんのか。
Why can't it be both? This is a real prediction, as in the wizard's going to make it happen by bankrupting Cinderella himself. It's a compliment, obviously.
ああ、そうか。そりゃありがとよ。で、それがどうした。突然話を振って、自分のペースに巻き込んで話をずらして。
Oh, he really is sharper than he looks. Oh, was it that obvious?
バレバレだ。
I fell silent for a moment, then continued. Fine, I'll just cut to the point. Personally, I choose not to put stock in any fortune or horoscope I don't like.
ああ、だろうな。
I know, right?
褒めてねえよ。あのさ、あんたは俺があんなうさんくさいやつのうさんくさい言葉を信じると思ってんのか。
I don't know about afraid, but I'd wager it doesn't sit well with you. Obviously, we can't be sure what his intentions were exactly, but regardless, it can be hard to ignore negative comments, or at least it is for me.
まあ、そりゃそうだ。
He stopped short.
なあ、くそ。思い出したらむしゃくしゃしてきた。アリス
Yes?
あんなうさんくさい野郎のうさんくさい発言なんてどうでもいいが、好き勝手に言われるのは腹立つ。
You're motivated to succeed?
あいつの鼻を明かしてやるためにも、店を繁盛させて 金を稼ぎ出してやるぞ。
And we'll accept nothing less than somewhere between Stardust and Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts. Stardust and Dunkin' Donuts. I balled my hand into a fist.
ああ、そうだ。だからこそ妥協すんなよ。茶葉だの豆だの、必要なものはとりあえず高級品を使っとけ。
Yasha! Cinderella is just so petty. He is so pretty and petty. I thrust my fist into the air. I like him. All right. That was our date with Cinderella. I had a lot of fun here. I feel all nice and charged with energy. I could keep on going, but should probably give my voice a break. Thanks everybody for coming. This was a really good chapter. I wonder how long each volume is actually. I hope to have lots and lots more parts of this to go. Nice stream. I have nice viewers. Thank you everybody for coming. Let's see. Who to raid? I know Tuxedoji. Well, Ray is still playing Dark Souls. I wonder if she beat up the dog yet? Yeah. Raid. Mascot. VT. Alright. Let's look at all of those Dark Souls. Are you ready, everybody? We're raiding in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Thank you, everybody, for coming. This has been your host, Freya Fukunaga, signing off. Bye!